Today's video is going to be a little bit different because we'll be breaking down how much money Strong Towns, the 501c3 nonprofit, actually makes and how that money is spent to support a growing movement that's international and working to make cities more financially resilient. Because this movement is built on trust and transparency, which is crucial for us to be able to stay focused on what real people need out of their cities. Because while we want the Strong Towns movement to grow, we also want that momentum to come from people who truly believe in the Strong Towns approach. So let's look at how we fund the Strong Towns movement, where that money goes, and why it matters. Starting with the obvious, the ads that play at the beginning or in the middle of our YouTube videos make up for a very small percentage of our total earnings, at $11,200 in 2024. So your views help us to share incredible stories of what people are doing on the ground. But as you'll see in a second, it's not necessarily what's helping to keep the boat afloat, so to speak. However, that does not mean that the videos are not important to our mission. In 2024 alone, we've used video to help share frameworks for placemaking and success stories inside of the Strong Towns movement with 5.7 million people. And this year, we've pretty much doubled that, reaching 10.2 million people thus far. But to grow the actual movement and spark local action on the ground, we knew we had to do more in person. We have visited 85 towns across North America in 2024 alone. We've met thousands of community members and learned what they're doing to help improve their places, and hosted a national gathering for hundreds of these local heroes in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is why nearly 22% of our income came from in-person and online events, helping us to further share these ideas and work more closely with you to build stronger towns. Virtually, we hosted programs that connected urban design experts with local heroes and local officials to train them to take action in their cities. We've provided tools and strategies to cohorts that implement the Strong Towns principles on the ground. Because our goal is to help local leaders, technical professionals, and government workers apply Strong Towns principles to real projects for long-term impact, with these efforts amounting to $415,000 of our total annual funding, with our Q3 2025 data showing that 27% of our income have come from these two buckets, a total of $393,000 so far. And that's because since 2024, we have made some tools and resources more readily available to members and attendees of the national gathering, hence the reduction in that funding bracket, but deepening our commitment to helping support you grow this movement. Because making sure that you're equipped with the resources to affect change in your town has always been our top priority. We are also so thankful to work with our grantors who made up 43% of our funding in 2024. People and organizations that share our commitment to financially sustainable, strong communities, which accounts for $955,000 of our annual funding. Now, before we review our total revenue, you may have noticed that our revenue streams have one thing in common. While the stories we share celebrate local action and make the Strong Towns movement more easily accessible to everyone, offline and online events help to fan the flames of the movement on the ground, while resources supported by grantor funding help locals take that action on the ground. In other words, our revenue streams are not just used to fund the Strong Towns entity. They're also used to fuel the Strong Towns movement. In fact, in 2024, the funding base provided by our Strong Towns members accounted for 35% of our revenue. 5,710 members participated in helping this movement to grow, attending online and in-person events, starting local conversations, and contributing $794,000 to a growing movement and leaving a lasting impact, bringing our total funding in 2024 to $2.24 million. So let's break down where that money goes before we get into where membership stands in 2025. You see, the largest chunk of our spending, 77%, goes to people power. And that people power goes to supporting a movement for change. This includes amplifying your stories through Chuck's weekly articles or daily social media highlights, or by providing hands-on support to over 300 local conversations working to bring Strong Towns ideas to life in their communities. This ensures that the movement runs smoothly and allows local leaders to focus on changing zoning codes in their towns, or rethinking street design and building strong neighborhoods from the bottom up. All of our staff hours are dedicated to fully equipping you with the resources and tools that you need to get these things done as effectively and efficiently as possible, and to help you lead change in your communities where it matters most. Whether through content or in-person events, we invested $342,000 to connect, educate, and mobilize people across the country. Events are where we turn ideas into action, and that also includes travel costs, as we don't really ever hit the road unless we know there's an opportunity to grow the movement face-to-face. And of course, to keep everything running smoothly, around 11% or $250,000 goes towards essential operations. That includes $80,000 for insurance, office rent, software, and equipment that keep our teams equipped and protected. We spend $40,000 on web hosting to keep our content accessible, $40,000 on processing fees to handle donations and memberships, $37,000 on communication tools like internet, phones, and Zoom, $28,000 on marketing to reach new people, and $16,000 to track member engagement and event impact. These aren't just overhead costs. They're the infrastructure that help power an international movement for change, bringing our total expenses in 2024 to $2.4 million. Now, you'll have noticed that we recorded a $168,000 loss in 2024, to which Chuck had some words that he'd like to share with you.
Nonprofit accounting is sometimes really weird. It's sometimes lumpy, right? We'll get a big donation in at one point, and one year we'll run a profit. We'll carry that money over the next year. The next year we'll run a loss. It happens sometimes. But I think it's really important to know that part of this is also a decision about how we run our organization. We are mission obsessed. We're very mission driven. Carly, our chief of staff, says we default to action. And by defaulting to action, it creates a lot of opportunity for us because we're always acting real aggressively and pursuing our mission and trying the next thing and pushing. But it sometimes means that we step too far and we overextend ourselves and we, quite frankly, have to retool. Last year, we laid off a lot of people and it was deeply painful. We restructured a number of our systems and, it was hard to say goodbye to friends, to colleagues, to people we respect, to people that we love. But when people donate money to us, when people give money to us and support us, we put those chips on the table. And so for us, it's really, really important to stay focused on that, to stay forward leaning, to really go after our mission. When people donate to us, that's what they should expect that we do. And so, yeah, that's what we do. And some years it means we're going to run a slight deficit. Some years we'll run a slight positive. Hopefully we'll have enough reserves to weather any downtime. But really, with our membership support, which is this huge base of support, it gives us a lot of confidence to treat that lumpy money that comes in as aggressively as we can, because we know we've got this broad base of support that we can rely on year after year after year to carry us through.
And the good news is in 2025, our membership is way up. As of Q3, membership accounts for 63% of our income. That amounts to just over $910,000. With the typical Strong Towns member donating between $5 and $10 a month. Some, of course, give more, while others give less, but most members are recurring, which allows the movement to have financial stability that one-time donations don't necessarily grant. Our members don't just provide the most stable source of funding for this movement, they really are our North Star. When we put them at the center of our work, when we serve them, when we listen to them, we know we're on the right track. When we invite you to become a member, it's about building a movement with real-world impact, together with you, not just for you. So why not stand with Strong Towns movement today?